Mary Brown's AccuWeather forecast is certified by the National Weather Association.
Heavy thunderstorms are continuing to rumble through portions of central Alabama this evening. There has been no severe weather, and the best news is we do need the rain. It is very welcome across Alabama. High temperatures today made it into the low and mid-90s. 93 degrees was the high in Birmingham after a low of 66, with just under a half an inch of precipitation this evening. Tuscaloosa made it to 95 after a low of 64 with half an inch of rain. Gadsden reporting a high of 94 after a low of 65, and there is rain moving into that area. Sunrise time tomorrow, 6:02, setting at 7:43. In Birmingham, it's 79 degrees with a thunder shower, humidity 90%, wind out of the south at 6. And in Tuscaloosa at 9 o'clock, it's 78 degrees with showers in the area, humidity 55%, wind southwest at 23. And in Gadsden, we have 79 degrees, humidity 53%, barometric pressure rising, wind out of the southwest, and there are showers moving into the Gadsden area. On the satellite photograph, you'll see skies cloudy over most of Alabama this evening. We will clear out somewhat after midnight, and most of the rain will end by then and return to partly cloudy conditions during the day tomorrow. Clouds exist over much of the eastern part of the nation, the upper Midwest, and into the southern plains this evening. And it is not only a stormy night here, but for much of the country as well, with very heavy thunderstorm activity rumbling through portions of the Four Corners area into the Plains and Rockies, also over the Ohio Valley and the Atlantic coast. There is a tornado watch in effect for portions of Nebraska and Kansas. No severe weather reported there yet, but there was a tornado near Champaign, Illinois earlier this evening, but there has been no damage reported. A couple of major storm systems moving through the northern part of the country, one through the Plains and one through the Ohio Valley, triggering thunderstorm activity there. For Alabama, high pressure will continue to dominate our weather pattern during the day tomorrow. The Bermuda high will continue to control us, as it does this time of year, giving us southerly winds, and that means an increase in moisture, and as things heat up, the air will become a little unstable each afternoon, and a few showers and thunderstorms will continue to pop up, much as we had during the day today. Our low temperatures this evening will be in the 70s, a little warmer tonight statewide, with daytime high temperatures tomorrow again in the low and mid-90s across most of Alabama. In Alabama at 9 o'clock, we have 79 degrees at several locations: Huntsville, Gadsden, Birmingham, and Montgomery, 78 at Mobile. Let's go to radar now, and you'll see where the rain is. Quite a lot of it through central Alabama, stretching from Demopolis into the Tuscaloosa and Birmingham areas, now moving into the Gadsden and Anniston areas. The heaviest activity is between Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. A lot of lightning in those storms, so do be careful. And here's our forecast for this evening. Scattered thunderstorms down to 68 degrees. For tomorrow, partly cloudy with scattered afternoon thunderstorms, a high of 94, the low 72. And for Friday, partly cloudy with scattered afternoon thunderstorms, a high of 92 degrees. And check out your weekend on the 5-day forecast. Partly cloudy with scattered afternoon thunderstorms, with high temperatures in the low 90s on Saturday, moving back up into the mid-90s by the end of the weekend. So no severe weather this evening, but we'll keep an eye on it for everyone.
We need the rain.
Yes, we do.
Thanks, Mary. A recap of yesterday's historic Bessemer City elections when Alabama's 9 o'clock news continues.
Hey there again. You ain't got to be no rocket scientist like myself to figure out 40 Winks Waterbeds has the lowest prices on waterbeds in the South. And to prove that, 40 Winks Waterbeds is having a buy one, get one free sale. Choose one of 24 selected beds, get an Alabama Boomer free.
You eat a rat. At 40 Winks, we're giving waterbeds away. If you can guess the number of cups under this bed, it's yours for keeps. So come on down. I'm crazy. I'm a nut. Bring the kids.
If you're allergy sensitive, your world is uncomfortable, irritated, ever threatening. For effective relief, discover the histamine blocker Benadryl, the most prescribed allergy medication ever. Benadryl, available without prescription in full 25 milligram strength. If you're allergy sensitive, discover Benadryl and Benadryl decongestant, prescription strength allergy relief from Park Davis.
Today, more than ever, you have to obtain the right skills to build your future. And at National Career College, we want to help you do just that. Let us give you the high technical training essential to becoming today's achiever. Specialize in whatever type of office training you'd prefer, pre-executive, legal, or medical. Opportunities to move ahead have never been better for the individual with the right training. To learn more, call National Career College at 758-9091 or come by Wood Square in Tuscaloosa. At National Career College, we're building your future today.
Piggy Bank Homes and Family Discount Homes, Alabama's #1 volume dealers, have just purchased the inventory of a dealer who has gone out of business and is holding a giant liquidation sale. Hundreds of deluxe homes to choose from. Prices starting at $9,900, $500 down, and $115 per month. These homes will be sold on a first-come, first-served basis. Interest rates start at 11.9 fixed, on-the-spot financing. Save thousands of dollars. Piggy Bank Homes, Tuscaloosa, Northport, Gardendale, and Pelham, and Family Discount Homes, Northport, next to Consumer Grocery.
In other news, voters in the city of Bessemer will go back to the polls on August 26th for a runoff election to decide 5 of the 7 seats on the new city council. In balloting yesterday, voters re-elected the city's mayor and elected the first black and first woman and a former state legislator to the city council. Here are the complete unofficial returns from yesterday's historic election. In the mayor's race, incumbent Ed Porter easily outdistanced his 2 challengers, Sidney Austin Jr. and Paul Brigman. One of the 7 city council seats is an at-large seat, and a runoff will be needed here between Quitman Mitchell and Dr. Leroy Holt. Mitchell is black, Holt is white. In District 1, a runoff will be held between James McWilliams, who led the field, and the Reverend Melvin Hunter. In District 2, Bessie Pippins, a black woman, was elected over 2 opponents. Mrs. Pippins is a retired school teacher. Thomas Torbett Sr. led the field in District 3 and will be in a runoff with Alonzo Colvin, who finished second. In District 4, Bill Warren Jr. led the ticket and will be in a runoff with W.W. Ledbetter. A runoff is also on tap in District 5, where Buddy Sokol led the ticket, followed by Joe Lloyd. And former state legislator and Jefferson County Commissioner Tom Glore was elected to the city council from District 6. Glore easily won the race, despite competition from 6 opponents. Yesterday's Bessemer election marks a turning point in the city's 99-year history. Not only will blacks now be a part of city government, they may end up with a majority on the city council. Steve Smith takes a look at the election and some of the candidates making history.
Bessemer Mayor Ed Porter won all 6 districts in a landslide to a 4th term in office.
It's got to give you a good feeling inside, deep down, because it inspires you to want to do even a better job for all people.
One focal point of the historic election is Bessie Pippins. The retired teacher is the first elected woman and the first elected black to the newly formed city council. Pippins says push the milestone aside because the council has a lot of work to do.
We have got to forget about what has happened in the past, and we have got to look at what we got to do now. And what we have got to do now is to work for the good of all of us.
Miss Pippins and 2 others will make history as the first elected black representatives in the city of Bessemer, but the critical point will be the at-large council seat. Depending on who's elected, that will determine the majority.
One of the candidates in the August 26th runoff is Quitman Mitchell, the co-owner of 20th Century Beauty and Barber Shop. The 46-year-old businessman says a strong black presence on the council is good for Bessemer's image and will serve as a positive role model for children.
Our people has never been in a position that to even think that they could even be possibly mayor of the city of Bessemer, because it never has happened. And I think when these things start happening, they can see it's something tangible, something they can put their hands on.
Dr. Leroy Holt is the other runoff candidate for the at-large council seat. The family practice physician says the integrated council is good for the city, but feels some blacks may have swapped freedom and equality for a goal of power, and that could cause a division.
I think if they win this election, that there may be a white flight. If there is a white flight, there will be an affluent black flight.
In Bessemer, Steve Smith, DBB News.
Gus Hergert joins us now with a look at tonight's sports.
The Southeastern Conference apparently has a new commissioner on the way in. We'll find out Friday for sure, but we'll tell you who we think it is. Also, it was Picture Day in Alabama. We'll show you what that produced.
Dexter's on Hollywood.
Dear Certs, Barney said the new dispatcher's name was Sam. I found out later it was Samantha.
Only Certs has fresh flavor and Retsin to keep your breath face-to-face fresh. Certs and sugar-free Certs.
Skinny sticklets that with flavor, see how skinny, taste how fat.
Only one gum gives you 9 slim sticklets instead of 7 wide sticks in a regular size pack. New sticklets.
See how skinny, taste how fat.
When you see news happen, call Alabama's 9 o'clock news station. In Tuscaloosa, call 758-NEWS. And in Birmingham, call 942-1717.
If you are looking for a great night's sleep on a great-looking waterbed, find it at the Sleep Shop in Alberta City. They offer you a complete line of waterbeds, including full-wave, semi-waveless, and waveless mattresses. The Sleep Shop also has a complete line of linen, massage units, and accessories. Complete king-size waterbeds start as low as $139, and you can have the waterbed of your choice with no down payment, no payment for 90 days, and 90 days same as cash. Find it at the Sleep Shop in Alberta City.
On the Independent News tonight, his nickname was Bionic Bill. William Schrader lived longer than any other person with an artificial heart. He died today, leaving behind some questions about the artificial heart program. We'll have a report. We'll also tell you how a 5-year-old boy used a grown-up life-saving technique, the Heimlich maneuver, to rescue his playmate. Plus, we'll listen in as only the best take part in a gospel music fest. Join us. Good evening, everyone. The Southeastern Conference has decided on a new commissioner. The name that will be announced to the media Friday morning will be that of Air Force Colonel Harvey Schiller. Schiller has been selected over 4 other finalists, but says he can't comment on anything until Friday. The 47-year-old former fighter pilot is presently a teacher at the United States Air Force Academy. He will replace retiring Commissioner Boyd McWhorter. We've talked all week about the USFL deciding to postpone their 1986 season until 1987. By most accounts, that will probably spell the end of what proved to be a very impressive league. But what about the city of Birmingham? Not to mention losing a professional franchise, the city will stand to lose millions of dollars worth of revenue.
It will obviously have a negative economic impact on the city of Birmingham. The USFL, even during its struggling days here in the city of Birmingham, still had a significant economic impact in this city. To lose that franchise means that we are going to lose some millions of dollars that are brought into this economy through that particular franchise.
Alabama Crimson Tide took what may prove to be their last easy day today as they posed for the pictures. Most of the state's media were on hand to talk with varsity players who reported yesterday. Those returning included notables Mike Shula, Cornelius Bennett, and about a dozen others. But could there be as many exciting finishes as we saw last year for Crimson Tide football?
You know, the 2 bookends would have been like that last year, but it was a great way to start and end the season. And, you know, hopefully we won't have to come from behind in the last minute to win ball games this year. But, you know, if we do, hopefully we'll be prepared. And like I said, everybody, I think those games are emotional, and coming out on the winning side of an emotional game helps you to grow as a team and become more confident within yourself and within the other players on our team. So I think we've grown a lot from it, and hopefully we can use that experience and go and use it as a stepping stone for this year.
And as we told you Monday, the freshmen have been on campus and practicing for a few days now. And head coach Ray Perkins likes what he sees in his younger players and believes those younger players will be able to contribute early on to the Crimson Tide program.
It's kind of exciting. We've had the freshmen for 4 days, and I think we've learned a lot about them. They're pretty much what we thought they were. They're a real good group, and I think they're going to turn out to be a special group of freshmen. But it's always real good to see the varsity come in and get started with the entire group as a football team.
The first high school preseason football poll is out, the one by the state sports writers, and a surprise #1 team has been picked on top of Class 6A. That is Lee of Montgomery, who could only have a 9-4 record last year. From our area schools, Huffman 5, Tuscaloosa Central 6, Vestavia Hills 7, Just Lanier 10. In Class 5A, top from our area is Dora. In 4A, Alexandria was picked #1. In 3A, Gordo was picked to return as state champions. In 2A, only 2 schools, Warrior and New Brockton from our viewing area.
And in 1A, 1 and 2, Sandrock and Autauga. Well, one day after becoming the second Major League pitcher to strike out 4,000 batters, Steve Carlton announced his retirement today from Major League Baseball. That announcement came from the San Francisco Giants, speaking for the 41-year-old left-hander. And just before we came out, Bob found out that George Foster, who was born in Tuscaloosa, has been given his unconditional release by the New York Mets. That will be effective tomorrow. And in preseason football, Atlanta needs the New York Giants 24-14 in the third.
Okay, thanks, Gus.
Right.
Gus will be back in a half hour with first scores at 10, the independent news coming up next from INN. Bob Gambakurta reporting. Thank you for watching. Good night.